Hi Hans. Okay. First of all, happy Diwali to you and your family. Okay, in the last video, I given or explained related to that reflection process, right? And there we discuss laws of reflection and deviation made by that reflected ray with the incident ray. Maybe you calculated or you can be observed in anti-clockwise direction as well as clockwise direction, that delta 1 and delta 2. Great. So that is reflection process there. How much that reflected ray is deviated with respect to incident ray. Okay, up to that we discussed. Okay. Okay. Today's class we extended further. I'll give you some more information regarding this reflection, and in that, see here, if incident ray is normal to the surface, incident ray is normal to the surface, then how the deviation made by the reflected ray. And if the incident ray is a parallel to the surface, that is a plane surface, let it be if it is considered, then what is the deviation? So there is some observations here. See here, first we consider which one it is. Normal incidence is a normal incidence. So when you are incidenting the ray, normal means it is a perpendicular. When you are incidenting the ray of light perpendicular to the surface, that too we are taking the plane surface, and how that reflected ray will be comes. See here. So this is a plane surface, or you can be say plane mirror also it is. One side is coated or silvered polished, and another side we can be having just it is made to be reflected the light ray. And here I said it is a normal incidence. That means here the ray of light is coming perpendicular to the surface. Like this, the ray of light is coming. But once it is made incident on this one, again it will be reflected. And the reflected ray will be exactly comes in the opposite direction of the incident ray. Right? So this is what you can be observed here. So this direction towards the plane, it is the incident ray. But after making the interaction with this surface, again that light ray will be coming back into the same medium in opposite direction of that incident ray. Right? Here that normal is nothing but along the normal only, normal incidence. That means the incident ray is along the normal. It is called as a normal incidence. So here, what is the angle between the normal and incident ray, and the normal and reflected ray, and what is the deviation? Okay, that we can be observed here. So what do you mean by the normal incidence? So normal incidence is nothing but the incident ray is along the normal, right? So here incident ray along the normal. So that is we can be observed here. So this is what it is, a incident ray, right? And this is what you can call it is a reflected ray. This is a plane surface. I drawn this ray separately, but here it is making it a same line. So this is the incident ray towards the plane surface. This is a reflected ray away from the plane surface, but both are perpendicular at a same line. Right? So here this is the direction incident ray, this is the direction for reflected ray. So both are opposite direction. Opposite direction means what you can be observed here. What is the angle of incidence? It is 0. What is the angle of reflection? Is also 0. And what about the deviation here? Delta. Deviation. Both are opposite direction. Opposite direction means it is pi radian or 180 degrees. So this information you have to remember for normal incidence with a plane surface, or in case of plane mirror, right? So that is one of the observation here for a reflection process. When a ray of light is made normal incidence, there you can be observed angle of incidence and angle of reflection both are equal to zeros, and the deviation made by that reflected ray with incident ray is given by 180 degrees. Both are it is opposite direction. Incident ray, reflected ray both are opposite direction, so that the deviation is given by it is 180 direction in both clockwise and anti-clockwise. You take either of anyone, you will be get the angle will be same. Correct? That is what you can be observed here. So this is for normal incidence. Similarly, you can be having there is a grazing incidence. Grazing. So it is very simple, easy to observe. See here. The second one is you can be having here it is grazing. Grazing incidence. So grazing incidence means it is along the surface of that given any plane mirror or any mirror. It is along the surface we are incidenting the ray. So here let it be, this is what you can be observed, a plane surface. It is a silvered part and the ray of light is propagating along this length. Along this mirror of the surface itself, the ray is propagating. The ray is propagating. So this is the normal to the surface, right? So this is the normal and this is the angle between incident ray and normal. And here there is no deviation at all. Here you can be observed that angle of reflection. This is the angle of incidence. So the ray which is incident here along the surface itself, it will be propagating without any deviation. So here I and R both are equal to 90 degrees. So angle of incidence I is equal to 90 and angle of reflection is also 90. And what about the deviation? Deviation is 0. There is no deviation. It is propagating along the same surface without any changing the direction for this light ray. How it is incidenting along that only the reflected ray will become, right? So in this case we cannot be having any these deviation observation, right? So delta is 0. But what about in this case? It is 180 degrees or pi radians is the deviation for normal incidence. And angle of incidence, angle of reflection both are zeros. And here angle of reflection, angle of incidence are 90 degrees, right? So these observations you have to remember for special cases where you can be observed is normal incidence and grazing incidence. Grazing means along the surface the ray of light is propagating. That is called as a grazing incidence. Okay. So this is a 2 point, or these are the 2 points you have to remember. Already given the deviation how we can be calculated in clockwise and anti-clockwise in the previous video, right? Okay. This is also another important one. You just remember. So with related to your syllabus, the reflection at plane surface is not given. It is not there in your syllabus. So I am not concentrating much related to the topic of reflection at plane surfaces. So I will give you some information related to the object and image. What is the object? What is the real object? Virtual object. What is the real image? Virtual image. So object and image, about that I'll give you some information. See here, we can be having here, what is the object? So in this you can be having the object may be real, object may be virtual. Real and virtual. So what is an object? Object also you can be having it is a real and virtual, as well as it is a point object and extended object. Objects also another classification, that is a point object. A point object is nothing but the object is considered to be very small size. It is a point size. Extended object means it is having some length or some dimensions, area or length, volumes are existed for extended objects. The object which has a more dimensions, larger one, which is called as the extended object. But the object is considering as a point size, just like a dot, that is called as a point object, right? Depends upon the size of the matter, we can call the object maybe point object or maybe it is extended object. But generally as of now at this case I'm give you the point object, right? We can consider. So here object means what? Object means it is a matter, the matter where from where that incident rays are about to be met. Suppose here you have a plane surface, let it be the plane mirror, whatever it is. This is a plane mirror. I am drawing the normal to this one. Here it is a normal. This is a normal perpendicular to the plane surface. Somewhere you have the object. This is an object. It is a point object I am taken, just like a dot. Just like a dot, it is O. O is the object. And for this, where the image is forms. Where the image is forms. So that is, you can be observed here. These rays, they can be travel like this. The ray of light can be propagated from this, the reflected rays. And after making the incident on this surface, they will be coming back, and you can be observed to be having, there is a formation of image. Here the image you can be get. So in this direction, these rays can be reflected. So this direction, the ray can be reflected. So here the object is there. On this, from this the light source is passing. The light is coming and it is making the incidenting on this mirror, and it will be reflected. Same way here also it is reflected. These you extended backside, and where this will be intersecting, that is reflected rays, or where they are about to start. This point is called as the image. And where that incident rays are about to be intersect or meet, the meeting point of incident rays is known as the object. This is a object, and this one is a image. So intersection of reflected rays is called image formation. Intersection of incident rays, these are incident rays. Incident rays. These are reflected rays. Reflected rays. So the intersection of these reflected rays, where they will be intersecting, that point is called as a formation of or location of image. And where that intersection of the incident rays are made, that point or that position is called object position, or that is called as a object. Correct? So now here the object is there. For this object, where the image is forms, here the image is forms. So this object is called as a real object. Real means we are kept here. We are keeping this object. For this image here we got. So this image is a virtual image. Virtual means not a real. It is not a real one. That real one means it is existing. We are seeing. We are only the keeping that object. That is called the real. Real means it is existing one. Existing one is a real. Supposed to be exist, that is virtual. Supposed to be exist, it is called virtual, and existing one is called as a real. So here real object. This is a real object. For this real object we got here image. This image is a virtual. Why it is called as a virtual? Because this image we cannot be real one, as it is a about to be exist. It is not existing one. We can see the image, but we cannot be hold this image. We cannot be making this image to be photographed. So this type of images are called as a virtual images, right? But this object is we are keeping. We can hold this one. We can also see this one. This one also same. This one also same. But here, what is the difference between these two? This is a real one. Here it is we are keeping. It is existing one, right? We can hold this one. We can take the photograph of this one. So this is what it's called as the real. For virtual, we cannot be take the photograph. We cannot be hold that virtual, right? So here this is a virtual, this is a real. So because of that I said here real and virtual. Object is here real, but image is virtual. When you can be say object is virtual, that is also you can be observed. So that is, suppose you can be having, if it is a reverse case, just observe here. Here you got the image. You got the image here, but where is the object? Where is the object? Somewhere. Just make the reverse of this. Let it be, I am taking here. Same observation. Here you got the image. Image you got. By coming like this, the rays. This is the object. With respect to this object, the light ray is coming from here. Like this it will be going. The light ray. Right. So once it is going like this, this light ray will be where they are intersecting. So here with this object we are getting the image here. So this image is, you can take this, the directions also you can be make just changing. Here it will be like this. You can be make this one is like this, not outward, it is inward. So here you have the object. So supposed to be present this object, for this object image is forms here. So this object is supposed to be exist. So it is called as a virtual. Object is virtual, but this image is real. Right? So objects are two types. They are virtual or real. Images also two types. They may be virtual and real. Just remember what is the real, what is the virtual. The names itself, you are having the meaning of those. Real means that object or images we can be hold, we can be take the photograph, they can be exist. By seeing our eyes we can be notified they are existing. That is real. But what about virtual? Virtual means they are supposed to be exist. They are not existing, supposed to be exist. They will be looks like exist. That type of formation or existing one is maybe object, maybe images are called as a virtual. Right? So what is an object? What is an image? And when it is called virtual, when it is called real. Okay. Remember this type of terminology. What is an object? What is an image? And whether it is a virtual or real. Maybe image, maybe object. Remember this terminology. We can be used for further explanation in this. And for any plane surface, the reflection takes place from plane surface. You can have some observation here. Reflection at plane surface, some points you can remember. I am not giving much, this is not there in the syllabus, but I am giving some information. Reflection at a plane surface. Reflection at a plane surface. Reflection at plane surface. In this, okay, let it be, if you seen, just now I given some information about these objects and images. So this is a plane surface, this is a normal drawn, and somewhere you have the object is there. So for this the image is forms. Here the image is formed. So it is reflected like this. So this is what the ray diagram for this formation of image for the object. So here you have the point object, here you will get the image. Correct. Now here what are the important points you can remember here with related to this plane surface where the reflection takes place. Here for any plane surface the image formed is always virtual. The image due to plane surfaces by reflection always it is a virtual image for a real object. Right. So here images formed always virtual. Always virtual for real objects. For real objects. So this is you have to remember. And second point. The object distance and image distance from the surface, the plane surface is always equal. That means how much distance the object is kept with respect to this plane surface, and the same distance will be formed from the plane surface image. The image formation also, that means it is with related to a normal drawn to the plane surface. From normal to the object, again the normal to the image, the distances are equal. Let it be this one is, I am taking this point is some, let it be this object, this image, this point is, let it be some P. So OP and PI always equal. That means the object distance and image distances from the plane surfaces always they are equal. So that is I am saying here, or we can be observed. Image distance and object distance are always equal. Correct. So this is what you can be observed. How much that object is far away from this point P, with the same distance from the point P, the image will be formed. So that is, I'm saying it is for plane surfaces, right? So the object distance O to P, I'm represented by U. P to I, I'm represented by V. The distances I'm representing with some letters U and V. And the magnification, if you calculated, magnification of plane mirror is, it is a negative, and also it is a 1 you can make it. Why it is 1 means the magnification means it is a ratio of size of image or distance of image to distance of object. So magnification, it is a modulus, I'm calculating this value is a object to the image distance by object distance. Its definition is given by image distance upon object to distance. We have the number of other definitions also. As of now, I am giving this one only. Image distance upon object to distance. Image distance upon object to distance. So this is what it is called as a magnification. So the magnification is given by, what you can observe here, image distance is how much? V, and object distance is U. But if you are applying the sign conventions, this distance is measured left side, here to here. In this direction we are measuring the distance. That is, we are taking as a negative by sign convention. So that I am taking here, this value is V by minus U modulus. But both are equal. U is equal to V. I said here the distances are equal, right? U and V are equal. That means here minus 1 within the modulus, which is equal to 1. So the magnification is always unity. The magnification is always unity for a plane surfaces that you can be observed, right? So here this is what you can be see the information related to the some of the points where the reflection takes place at plane surfaces. The reflection takes place at plane surfaces. We are having this information. Correct. We have a lot, but as of now, I am not giving all the applications as there is a not there this one in your syllabus, right? Okay. I'll go for reflection at spherical surfaces. That is there. We'll discuss that part. Reflection at spherical surfaces. Spherical surfaces. Right. Here spherical surfaces, how the reflection takes place and what are the terminology we required to be remember. So that first I'll give you the information that definitions and basic terms which are required for explaining this topic. Okay. Now here spherical, a sphere. It is spherical means it is sphere. So you consider a spherical glass material. A spherical glass material, correct? This is the center of that sphere. Here this is the radius of the sphere. This is the center. I'm taking a C, and radius is I'm taking as a R. You take a portion of this sphere, a portion of the sphere you consider anything. This one is a portion, or this part also portion, this part also portion, and take a portion of this spherical glass, and one of the side of the spherical glass made to be silvered, made to be coating, polishing, then it will become a spherical surface or spherical mirror, right? So here if you are making this part, you've taken this A to B, you've taken, you removed, you cut that part from this spherical glass, then you are having here like this. This is A, this is B, this part, and here you have the somewhere C, center, and here to here radius, right? And now you can make this that part where you are cutting from this spherical glass material, we are getting this AB. This A to B portion, the part of that sphere of the glass material is called as a aperture. and this aperture can be coated outside like this. It is coated means it is silvered, polished, and reflection is takes place inner part of that curved this surface, right? For this curved surface, one side we are coating, other side is made reflection, right? So inside is made reflection, outside is made silvered. So this type of surface is called as a, what is that? It is concave mirror. It is called as concave mirror, right? Same way, if you are making this polishing is not outside, inside polishing, outside is made reflection part. That is, you can be see here. This is A and B. Here you are using this part is coated here. Inside is made coated, and here you can be having this one is a center, and this is a radius. Right, and now this outer part is made for reflection, so this type of curved surface is named as, it is a convex mirror. It is a convex mirror. Right, so we have these spherical surfaces used for the reflection. There we can be use the polishing may be outside or polishing may be inside. If the polishing is outside and inside is made used for reflection process, we can call this curved surface is a convex mirror, concave mirror. And if it is making reverse, that is inside is made coated, outside part of that curved surface is used for reflection, then we can call this type of curved surface is called as a convex mirror, right? So these are the two types of mirrors are there in spherical surfaces. There we have this one is concave mirror, another one is convex mirror, right? And now we required some terminology. I'll explain regarding any one of the mirror. The terminology is same. For all these spherical surfaces, the terminology is same. So we'll discuss the terminology. Now you follow, know what is a convex mirror, what is a concave mirror. These two, right? These two are belongs to curved surfaces, right? These topics are there. We'll discuss in detail about these. Okay. So now I'll give you the some terminology related to these spherical surfaces. Maybe it is a convex or maybe it is concave. For anyone it is same. So let it be I am taking any one of these surface, any one of the mirror. Let it be I am taking it is a concave mirror. This is a size A to B, and this is a straight line which is passing from the center of this AB. There we can call it is a point P, which is nothing but pole. I'll tell you what is it. And there is a point we can call it as F, and there is one more point where it is a center for this curve. It is called as a center of curvature, C, right? And this is a what the ray diagram we can be represented, and this outside it is a silvered, it is a concave mirror, right? And here what are the terms we can be having here, the terminology. Center of curvature to pole, this point is pole. The distance is represented by radius of curvature, which is capital R. Radius for this curve is called a radius of curvature, it is capital R. And this point F to P, it is a focal length represented by F. We'll discuss what is this, but it is represented by F. Now I'll tell you certain terminology. It is called as a aperture. What is aperture? The aperture is nothing but the size of the curved surface. The size of the curved surface or for the mirror, what is the size is there? That size is called as the aperture. So here A to B, what is this size is there? This total part of the curved part of the surface is called as the aperture. So here aperture is nothing but size or the total size of that curved surface. Size of curved surface. Size of curved surface is called aperture. That is from A to B, right? And here this one is called a C FP, this straight line is called as the principal axis. What is that? Principal axis. And the straight line which is passing from the center of curvature, where it is passing from the center of curvature, where it is intersecting on this aperture, this point is called as a pole. Here you have a pole. A straight line which is passing through the pole and perpendicular to its surface is called as a pole. The point where the principal axis is passing through aperture and intersecting at the center of the aperture, that point is called as a pole. So your pole is the center point of aperture. The center point of aperture. The center point of aperture is called pole, that we are represented by here point P at this point, right? Now here it is, you can be having this straight line is called as a principal axis. What is that? Principal axis. What is the principal axis? It is a straight line which is passing from center of curvature and pole. Center of curvature is here C and pole is here P. So straight line is passing from these 2 points, which is called as the principal axis, right? So here principal axis is a straight line passing through center of curvature and pole is called principal axis. So this is what it is passing here, this straight line, this is called as a principal axis. It is the principal axis, right? And here principal axis, this C is called center of curvature. What is center of curvature? It is the center of that curve. The center, that means the spherical curve, whatever you have taken, for that curve where the center is located, that point is called as center of curvature. So the name itself, it is giving you the meaning. So I am not giving any definition for this, special definition for this center of curvature. So it is a point or it is the location or point where the center is locating for that curve, which is called as a center of curvature, right? Now I'll go for this. Another important one is a focus. F. Focus. What is a focus? Here you have the focus here, this point F. But what is focus means? Focus means here whenever the light ray is coming from the large distances and intersecting the mirror, and after intersection it will be reflected back where that reflected ray is intersecting on this principal axis. Suppose you have an object is large distance. Large distance means the ray is always parallel to the principal axis. This is coming from where? It is from infinity distance. Long distances the ray is coming. Once it is made interaction with this mirror, it is a compulsory passing or where it is intersecting on this principal axis, that point is called as a focus. Focus is the location or point on the principal axis where the object or the ray is coming from larger distances. When the ray of light is coming from larger distances, after reflection of this ray, where it is striking on the principal axis, that intersection point is called as a focus. Followed, right? So that is the definition here. So what is the focus? Focus is a point on the principal axis where the reflected ray from the mirror intersecting on it, which is coming from the larger distances or coming from the infinity, is called as a focus, right? Now the distance from focus to pole, this F to P, is called as a focal length. What is that? Focal length. The distance from C to P, what is that? It is called radius of curvature. For this curve, what is the radius? The distance is called as a capital R. From where to where? Center to the point P. Not only point P, any point on this, it is a radius only, right? So here C2P is also radius. So that is R is called as a radius of curvature and F is called as a focal length. So I'll give you that one also. Focus, already I said, it is a point on the principal axis where the reflector ray is intersecting, which is coming from the infinity. Correct? So the ray of light is coming from the infinity, and after reflection of that light, which is intersecting on the principal axis, where it is intersecting on the principal axis, that intersection point is called as a focus. Okay. Now here focal length. Focal length. It is represented by small f. What is the focal length? The distance between the focus and pole. The distance between focus and pole is called as the focal length. And similarly, radius of curvature. It is the distance between center of curvature and pole. The distance between center of curvature and pole is called as the radius of curvature. Right? So these are definitions. You make a note and remember this terminology for further explanation regarding this reflection at spherical surfaces. Right? So thoroughly follow this and make notes clearly and revise that 1 or 2 times. Any doubt or anything you required, you call me. I'll make it to be further explain about that doubts. Right? With this, I can conclude this video. Okay, signing off.